So here we have my Falken WildPeak all-terrains. In my opinion, don't ever buy them. These are mounted on 20-inch rims. Their size 275 60/20s. The tires have approximately 15,000 miles on them. What I did is I went ahead and I cut grooves in. I used a heated razor blade, which I ordered off of eBay at not a bad price. I'm going to show you with the next tire what my problem was, but basically this was perfectly smooth all the way across here. These grooves I just finished cutting in here. I'm going to show you on the next tire how bad they're wore down. Apparently there's like two different grades of tread depth on this. One of them must be for the all-terrain purpose, which, as I said, wore out in a mere 15,000 miles. Here's the actual wear bar indicator for that off-road amount. As you can see, it's perfectly flush with it. Me, being the dumb tire buyer that I was when I purchased it, I didn't put two thoughts into it and just saw that it was a decent groove. Well, sure enough, once you wind up getting down to that, you're pretty much on a perfectly smooth surface. I got a snowstorm coming up here in another couple days, and these tires were getting me absolutely nowhere. It really sucked. You know, having a big truck, having all-terrain tires, and just because I got 15,000 miles on them, you know, stopping was probably the worst, and then getting going, always having to use four-wheel drive because these things had no bite left to them whatsoever. Right here is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Here's the same tire. This one's off one of the fronts. A little bit of an alignment issue. If you take a look there, I got a groove here still on the innermost tread. On the outermost, it's kind of feathered away. However, it's really not too far off. What happened is I replaced the front shocks, and when I did so, replaced them with one with a little bit of a lift, and with that lift the camber wound up getting readjusted, so even though I took it in for an alignment, it's still not exactly right, but as you see what I'm talking about, there's no bite left on here whatsoever. Alright, that's just pretty much a smooth surface. The ridges are still very deep in these channels, but all the way along this tread is pretty much done for. Hugely disgusted by this. Went up to the store and thought to myself, did I just get defective tires or what's the deal? This is the way that's designed. As soon as these wear off, then the nubs that are originally there, you're left with pretty much smooth skins, and it's got no traction whatsoever. I live in a snowy region. This year we got hammered with snow, and these tires are probably the worst tires I've had in a while in the snow. So I'm hoping by cutting out these new grooves with this storm that's supposed to be coming up, it's going to wind up making a big difference. And I mean, you know, trying to save a couple bucks is essentially what I'm trying to do. I mean, realistically though, these tires wound up cost me about $1,000. After everything was all said and done, a little bit of a discount from some rebates and all that stuff. But after everything was all said and done, you're talking about $1,000 worth of tires that last me 15,000 miles. So, not the most happy customer here. The tool that I'm using to do this is what they call a tire regroover. This device right here, as you see, basically this is a sharp razor blade at the bottom there. The trick is that you wind up getting it's a heated razor blade, and what happens is you pretty much set your tread depth, go up to it, that little screw on the side there, you adjust, get where you want to be, and when you got it set up, you pretty much just run with it. it heats up, take and push through, get yourself whatever pattern that you want for the most part, and just groove it right out. These are the little nubs that wind up coming off of it. Just at the tread depth that I wound up setting. It's nice and smooth where the heated razor wound up cutting it. And that's pretty much it. But you know, it's just something to give my tires a little bit of extra life here, and try to keep a good grip out there in the snow. Alright, well, if you decide to do it, good luck and enjoy. I wound up getting this heated groover. It was actually a little over $100. I've seen them as cheap as 60, but this one came with a couple different heads on it and a couple sets of blades off of eBay. It came stateside from Tennessee. Took a couple days to get up here, but I get some use out of it. Alright.